dead whale.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that smells good.
That's a dead whale.
Let's leave everything and go traveling. See what tomorrow brings. It's only a choice away. Let's back up and leave today. Let's see what tomorrow brings.
I woke up to a cozy, overcast morning the next day. I made coffee and set myself up in the back of the truck to edit and write. The dolphins gave me a nice show, and some of the locals waved as they headed down the beach to start their morning's work. I sipped my coffee and had a hard time believing this was real. As we headed back through the little town, we made sure to stop and thank Pedro. He was thrilled we enjoyed his little piece of the world. We were now headed towards the next beach destination just outside of El Rosario. We found our camp for the night, only accessible during low tide, and then we proceeded to explore the nearby tide pools. Yes, I am easily amused. We spent the remaining hours of the day running up and down the beach to get some much-needed exercise in, and then we rinsed off in the breathtakingly chilly waves before making dinner and relaxing.
Thank you for making dinner.
You're welcome. Alright, we woke up and left our beach early because it was low tide and that we needed to get out, so we just decided to hit the road.
Yeah.
Came back into...
Low tide was what time did we say?
11:30,
12:30.
is it 4 something?
4:30. Yep.
4:30.
4:30 a.m. and it was 6 a.m. So it was like, we better get going before it comes any further in. So we did fine. It was plenty of room to get around the rock that we had come around at low tide the day before, but didn't want to mess around. So we're on the road pretty early.
Topped off the gas.
Yep. Put every drop of gas we could in there. So we got both tanks are full plus our 5-gallon can. And we're heading to a beach section that's actually a park. And so pretty much you'll see a house or two along there that they don't kick anyone out if they've lived there for 50 or 100 years. But technically, from about where we're going to hit dirt now until the town of Guerrero Negro is a park. So you just drive along the beach, you'll see no one. Although we haven't seen anyone at either beach we've been at so far, except a nice old couple on the quad.
Yeah, a couple of fishermen maybe in the morning.
Pick oyster, but yeah. So it's one of my favorite areas.
Yeah, so that's where we're headed. Out of town, remote for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So today happens to be Mexico versus Brazil in the World Cup. So it is the biggest game in Mexico's history for quite a while, is what I've been hearing.
Yeah, I think they've never made it past this round, so if they do, it'll be a new record. But even getting to where they're at now is further than they have normally, further than they do normally.
But on the radio, we just heard that Brazil just scored one, so it's 1-0 right now. So, well, maybe we'll be able to catch a little bit of the game if we stop into a town somewhere. So
yeah, we don't have any towns in our near future, unfortunately.
Yeah, because we just passed the little one that we would have.
But if they win, then their next game will be about when we hit Guerrero Negro. So that'd be cool. Okay. If they lose. All right, Bajoom trees and the giant cardone cactus. So the giant cardones look like saguaros, but they're different.
And they really are giant. They're
they make saguaros look tiny. Now these aren't that big of ones, but there'll be some that are
up on the hill.
Like 4-story building. Amazing. And then the Bajoom trees, I just call the Dr. Seuss trees because look at them. They're kind of like, some of them literally curl at the end like a little Dr. Seuss tree.
Yeah, that's what they look like.
There's no light without love. There's no fighting without heart. I know love, yeah, when I feel it.
Almost to the beach. So now, cool little ranchito. So we're back to the beach. This is the beach section. We've had perfect campsites both nights on the beach, and actually perfect campsites in the mountains too. But to be honest, when I was sitting in the cubicle, sort of hating that time, this is the beaches that I was thinking about.
I know truth when I'm told, and I've seen war, and I've come home, and I know love, yeah, when I feel it. There's no hope without fear. You never learn to battle it if you don't keep it near. And I know love, yeah, when I feel it. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
just taking a break, and we found this really pretty just bay. And the water's pretty dang calm in here, nice and blue. No one's around. It's pretty cool. We might have to camp somewhere in here. It looks too nice to swim in to pass it up, but we'll see. What you doing, Tim?
Just hanging out, relaxing on the beach.
Aquaman. Are you gonna go catch us some dinner?
I hope so. Make no promises. It may just be a nice snorkeling trip.
Got our own little nice beach. This is up there.
A little wave through there.
There's a lot of sign of lobsters being around here, so maybe we'll get a lobster. Alright, so while Tim is out there swimming around, catching dinner, hopefully, I'm going to try and fix, we have like a little dust problem in the back where there's a spot where just dust is kind of filling up. So we stopped at a little, I don't know, like hardware store in Mexico, or in Baja, and got touch-in foam, which was interesting to try and explain, but they did have it. So I'm gonna try and spray that in where we are getting a bunch of dust in and hopefully stop the dust.
Despite my camera error here, I was able to successfully fill our dust hole, but unfortunately the water visibility was very poor and Tim didn't get anything. That's okay, we still had a delicious dinner.
So, Omar just came by. Here, showing video of him driving off there. Omar's showing off for us. So I've been here before. We've both been here, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
3? Something like that. And never seen anyone, ever. And then this truck comes up and you go, uh-oh, like, what's going on? Who's this? And then we see 3 women in the truck with them and you go, okay, I'm less worried. I guess it's bad of us to even have that reaction where we're worried. But so he came out and he's the caretaker of this park or reserve, wildlife reserve.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. From like 2 coves north of us, which would encompass, what do you think? I think he said 16 kilometers.
Yeah.
And then to the south of us, like 6 different coves, and you can see how big this one is.
Yeah.
That's all part of the wildlife reserve. So he just wanted us to like write our name down and like who we are,
what we're doing here, and how long we're going to be
stay
here, and all of that kind of stuff, just for information for the park, I guess, you know?
Yeah, and he was just the nicest guy ever. He was just loving the novelty of our horrible Spanish and trying to communicate with us, but being really tolerant.
Yeah, and then he started to leave, and then they stopped and they came back and they're like, can we have a picture with you?
Yeah,
and
so
they wanted to take a picture with us. It was his wife and 2 daughters, I think, in the back.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It was cute. They were very
he's
sweet.
the coolest guy. So I mean, it's something so small, but I'm glad we had these little stickers made. And I know you worked really hard on them, but I love handing somebody a little image of our truck and being like, it's the truck, you know, and they go, oh, neat.
Because you're able to communicate, like, we have no jobs, we have no house, this is our house, this is for a year, this is what we're doing. And they're like, you're going to be here for a year? And I was like, no.
I got what he said, but I didn't understand the word, but he's like, oh, he has big,
Big
and I'm
holes,
like,
yeah.
or that, or estupido,
Yeah.
so, or loco.
Yeah.
Which I think we both are, but that's all right.
Oh.
So that was cool. Just one more. I mean, the amount of like experiences we've had, and every time I come to Baja, but I start to forget, I think, the more I'm in the U.S. and I don't come down here, I start to think maybe it is bad, maybe it is scary, maybe there are bad people. I'm sure there are bad people. We know there are bad people.
Yeah.
I read, I have a specific news section actually at home telling me all about the cartel stuff that's happening, right? But
everywhere there's good and there's bad.
I've never in my life met nicer people.
They're
from
so friendly.
Europe,
and
Russia, Egypt, Cuba was probably the closest, I think. And I still feel like people in Baja, and Mexico I'm sure too, but I've spent more time in Baja, are the nicest people I've ever met.
They're so nice,
It's mind-blowing. You pull up to a house that looks to us a little scary, a little sketchy, and as long as you smile and wave, they just go, oh, cool.
Right,
You're
and I'm
friendly.
sure if we drive, tomorrow or wherever, if we drive by his
we
house
see
and he
Omar.
sees us, he'll be like, hey!
Yeah.
You know, so
And this is just one of, I think, so far. We've only been in Mexico 5 days, 4, 5? I'd say 5.
5 maybe.
2 nights in the mountains, 2 nights on the beach.
It seems like a long
This is our
time
fifth
and
night.
also really short at the
Maybe
same time.
6 days, 5 nights, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think every day we've had somebody that stayed with us mentally that we
Yeah.
thought, man, they were so cool. They were
Yeah.
so nice. They went out of our way to like look at the maps and showing us the best campsite or the
Mm-hmm.
most secret campsite or what type of fish are nearby to catch. And
Or don't camp on that beach because the whale's gonna wash up eventually.
yeah. One guy, he was pointing out, and I didn't understand the word. What was the word for whale with a B?
Ballena.
Ballena. And so he was pointing out to it, and I was like, so is that like nets, for fish or whatever? Is that what that is? And he just keeps pointing, and he goes, and he kind of puts his hand down to the beach, and he points where we were going to camp, and he's like, it's going to come down, and I wasn't getting it. And then sure enough, this morning, or yesterday morning,
Yeah.
we got up and we were leaving the campsite he told us about. Well, not really a campsite, just a section of beach.
Yeah.
And we're driving along, and I go, I don't remember that giant white rock.
Yeah, what is that? And then we're
It's
both
the
like,
dead whale
oh
he's
god,
trying
it
to warn me
smells
about.
bad. Yeah.
It's almost exactly where he thought it would wash
Yeah.
up. So.
And it's huge and really stinky. That was kind of
course,
crazy, actually.
yeah.
Yeah. But anyways,
All right, well, we'll update you later. Give me a little panorama of this. It's just too good not to share.
Tim did not catch any fish.
Oh, God, you had to rub it in. I couldn't see anything. It's not my fault.
The tide started coming in though.
No, so it was so
As
fun
you were.
to get all the stuff on and go out. It's one of my favorite things to do on these trips is just swim around with a spear, Hawaiian sling, and hope you can catch something. And if you stay with it, even if it's a ugly little fish, it's not the best eating. You end up with something, but I couldn't see anything. It was just all sand.
We were hoping for lobster. Check out these really cool little flowers, but I don't know if you can see it. They're just like covered in what looks like little sparkly water droplets, but they're like hard plasticky, but they're just shiny and pretty. They're so cool. Don't know what they are. Not sure I want to touch them, but they're pretty to look at. All right, Tim.
I'm mid-chip. Hold on.
It's a hard life, eating salsa on a beach. We got here and it was...
All right, this is getting long. Let's let him go.
Okay,
All right,
bye.
bye.